you know how you run like this? My arm, one was cramping more than the other, so I had to like hold it in place so that my muscle wouldn't spaz up. And then the other arm would go like this. And all the while I'm like doing this and running. Here's your tea. Cheers. Hey guys, welcome back to Teatime Tuesday. This video is dedicated to Carice, who motivated me to start running again. Today I ran for 5 minutes, a little over 0.8 kilometers. Not a lot, but it's a start. I want to tell a story of my running journey. The story starts in grade 7 when I was this little kid who loved my mom's cooking, and as a result I became a little chubby. Now back then I used to love playing badminton, so come junior high when team sports were a thing, I tried out for badminton in grade 7. And there was this girl that I really wanted to play mixed doubles with, and we were chatting and I played badminton and I didn't make it to the second round. How it worked was the first round was purely about cardio and endurance, because their mindset is basically you're going to need the endurance in order to survive playing on the court for so long. So even though in my childhood I was really good at badminton because my mom and I used to play, first year I got cut from the team, which was devastating to me. And so the school year goes by and grade 8 rolls around. Badminton season comes later than cross country, which happens in September to October at the start of the school year. So in grade 8, I made up my mind after being cut and tried out for the cross country team. It was very similar to today. The first run felt horrible. I thought I was gonna die. You know, like this, you always get the stitch, or like the stitch on your side when you first start running, right? It was like that, but I didn't let that hold me back. I showed up again the next day to practice, and I believe the first day I was the last in my tryouts. But the good thing about cross country is they welcome everybody, so I really appreciated that. There were no cuts. I'm sure if there were, I would have been cut. So next day I come, and a couple of my friends are all really athletic. In my class especially, everybody was on a sports team of some sort, so everyone just had so much more stamina than me. I remember we would have to, I think we started with a 3K and then a 5K, and I was always last. But over the season, I worked hard and ran my hardest. There were times when it felt like I could see the face of death, but it all amounted to something. Because in grade 8, cardio was no longer the issue. I had actually made the badminton team. Unfortunately, another unfortunate incident happened to where I got, I was put out of commission for badminton season. But that's a story for another day, right? So after that, I really fell in love with the sport of running, to where I did it again in grade 8 track and field, and then did all of that again in grade 9. And surprisingly, in one of my races, it was a very rainy day in a faraway south school where there was a citywide meet. What happens is you try out for the team, you show up to all the practices, and then you're allowed to compete in the citywide races against other schools. So you know, I would always show up and run my hardest and finish towards the end of the pack. And then in grade 9, something changed. I had lost a lot of weight. I was really into fitness. At this point, I was able to do my first push-up or many push-ups, you know. And in grade 9, on a particularly rainy day when everyone else was freezing, it was actually the perfect condition for me, where I felt like my muscles didn't get tired no matter how hard or fast I ran. So that day I actually placed 8th in the city, which was a personal record for me. I think it was like a 5K or something. But yeah, I was really happy with the result and continued running all throughout high school just on my own, to where in the summers I would do the One Punch Man challenge, which involved a 10K every single day. I used to run it in a little under an hour, so I would just run up Center Street or down Center Street to almost downtown and then run it back. Going there was 5K and then coming back was 5K. And those runs felt really good, cleared up my mind. It was during the summer, so the weather was nice. I used to go early morning so the sun wouldn't be too hot. And my friend, Raymond, who I met in high school, decided to come on one of those runs. Now, he had never ran before. And I asked him if he was sure to do it. And he insisted. So we did the typical 10K and he gassed out, you know, halfway into the run, which is pretty typical and normal for someone who hasn't run in a while, right? Funny enough, that inspired him to keep running, and he's done several marathons, and whenever he travels, he always goes for a nice long run, which I highly respect him for. And I feel like that was one of the last times I ran with somebody. Yeah. Because after that, I went to UofC, and throughout this whole journey, I have become more and more passionate about working out at the gym. So it's like a common thing to where basically if you do a lot of strength training, you don't want to mix cardio in there or you're gonna lose your gains. I don't know how true that is, but that is kind of the wider consensus of the fitness community. I also followed suit. So after leaving high school, I basically stopped training running and focused purely on powerlifting and bodybuilding. And this is where, you know, Raymond went through his training arc to become one of the best runners I know. He just does marathons on the regular, and nowadays he does strength training specifically to get better at running, like strengthening his legs and ligaments. So at this point I had abandoned running basically, but it was always in the back of my mind. In high school, because of school, I didn't join any cross-country running. I didn't have time for any sports. I just wanted to get into a good program with good grades. So I think it was second year of uni, after all of the madness settled down. I went to UofC, by the way. Some part of me thought, hey, why don't I try out for the UofC Dinos? You know, I have a lot of time on my hands. I'm willing to put in the practice. Let's see if strength training and cardio could be mixed. So similar to junior high and high school, the cross-country team tryouts was in September. But in UofC, it was, I think, towards the end of September. I had actually missed the first tryout, funny enough. But the coach was really nice. I talked to him and he's like, yeah, no problem. Just show up to the second one, see how you feel, and then if you really like it, we can, you know, get you on the team and practice. So tryout day, I was an idiot and I worked out that morning. Like, and not like a light workout. I worked out arms and upper body. And when I showed up to a tryout, I felt okay, feels good, not too bad. They began ABCs. I don't know if you guys know what ABCs are, but it's like A is high knees, B is butt kicks, and C is like a lunge forward stomp step thing. And while I was doing that, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. I can handle this. And they're like, all right, guys, let's go for a warm-up run. And I'm like, okay, how long is this gonna be? And they're like, the warm-up run's gonna be 10 kilometers. Keep in mind, I hadn't even ran properly in years by this point. So I'm like, okay, if it's a warm-up, I'm not gonna gas myself out. I'm gonna stick to the second half of the pack and just see what I can do, you know? So warm-up, everyone ran the 10K like it's nothing. You know, there's the front pack and then the later pack. I trailed behind. Point that, you know, my arms started cramping a little bit because of the lactic acid buildup. So when you do a lot of lifting, lactic acid builds up. Same thing with your legs, of course, when you run. However, the lactic acid circulates, right? So it went from my upper body being sore to my whole body getting a lactic acid treatment. So I began cramping, but I still finished the warm-up in last place. But, you know, in my head I was like, it's okay, I signed up for this. I'm gonna try to survive and then, you know, see how I feel the next day and maybe show up to practice. So we finished our warm-up. I was like, okay, great. Okay guys, you can relax a little bit for like 10-15 minutes and then we're gonna go into the actual run. I forgot the exact distance, but they're like, the actual run is 15 kilometers. And I was ready to tap out at this point. But you know what? I'm here, I'm committed. Let's go through with it. So basically they told us the path throughout UFC campus and how to finish it. I had met this one guy who was pretty friendly to me, so I stuck with him. And I told him, I was like, bro, I'm starting to cramp, so if I get trailed behind, you just go on without me. We started running. I think we had to do 2 laps or something. But what I didn't know was the provincial champion for the men's cross-country team was there, like for all of Alberta. This guy is like 7 foot tall and just like towered over everyone. As soon as the timer went, this guy just starts sprinting. I'm like, oh dang, like I guess this is the level of elite athletes in running, you know. But what I didn't consider was the fact that he would be sprinting the whole time. Oh, actually, I don't think it was 15 kilometers. I think it was just another 10K. This guy just full-on sprinted for the entire duration of the 10K. Like, full-on sprint. Like, if I ran as fast as I could, I would be just like evenly matched at his pace. Yet he was sprinting the 10K, which I guess for a extreme distance athlete, 10K isn't that far. But that shook me to my core. But you know, I'm here. I want to see if I can finish, right? So I started running. Maybe like 3 kilometers in. For my first lap, my arm wouldn't stop cramping, and both my arms actually. So you know how you run like this? My one was cramping more than the other, so I had to like hold it in place so that my muscle wouldn't spaz up. And then the other arm would go like this. And all the while I'm like doing this and running. And the coaches saw on the sideline, and he was asking, because we passed by him on each of the laps. He's like, "Hey buddy, are you okay?" I'm like, "No, but I'm gonna finish." He's like, okay man, just keep it up." He's like this old guy, and he was really nice, right? And I was just dying because the morning workout caught up to me, and both my arms are like doing this while I'm running. I'm sure it would have been a funny sight to see, but it was not funny to me, because if I had stopped running, my cramps would like lock up. But I needed to finish, and the farther I ran, the worse the cramps felt, because the lactic acid built up, and there was no way to flush it out because I was building up more lactic acid as I ran. I dug deep. By the time I finished my first lap, the provincial champion had already finished the whole run. And honestly, that was eye-opening to me. I ignored the noise and finished the run. Surprisingly, I did not get last. I think I finished third last out of a group of maybe like 50 people. There were girls too, but yeah, they all smoked me. And that was the last time I ran seriously. It's just, at this point, I saw what the peak performance of a runner would be, and just in my head, no matter how many hours I put into the sport, I think I could only achieve maybe like 50 to 80% of what the provincial champion was able to do. And I know like the endurance thing, you build it up over time, but it's not that. It's just the fact that he sprinted the whole entire 10K that like dropped my jaw, retired me from the sport basically. And as I'm like running in, finishing my run, the coach is like laughing. He's like, "Hey, I can't believe you survived. Most people would have tapped out if they were cramping like you." On the second lap, I explained to him how I did an intense workout that morning. So he gave me a pat on the back. He's like, "Well, you're not the fastest running, but I'm sure you can improve." He's like, "You're welcome to come to the next team practice, and then we'll see how you feel about getting you on the team." What he liked was my grit to finish the 10K, even though I was dying inside, mentally and physically, you know. But yeah, after that, I thanked him so much for giving me that opportunity, but I politely and respectfully told him that after seeing the provincial champion, I don't think running is my optimal sport. And he laughed, because I think he was really proud of his provincial champion. Which brings me back to today. You know, I think I'm gonna give it another go, this running thing. I'm gonna be the only person competing, of course. Like yesterday's video comparison, it's a thief of joy, so I'll keep that in mind. It'll just be my race, and I'm gonna do the run for myself, and most importantly, enjoy the process and, you know, all the conditioning that goes into becoming a long distance runner. I just hope I don't lose all my gains. But if you guys found that story entertaining, and see you tomorrow. I was running late today, so no live good morning, but took my supplements, creatine and 3 fish oils. I saw this on my way home. You're trying to be a woodpecker. Same, to be honest. Mood. I feel great this week so far. I'm in the we are so bleeping back zone. Today we're doing a back workout. I tried a new back exercise today. The kneeling single arm cable rows. Felt really good. Did some close grip lat pull downs, rows, Smith machine rows, explosive pull up and chin ups, just to increase the explosive power of my lifts. Testing a higher angle compared to yesterday. Hopefully this looks better. Only problem is you can see my arm in the frame. Really nice day today. I'm literally wearing shorts. Can you believe that? 10 days ago it was minus 25 and now I'm wearing shorts. Crazy. Rav, if you're watching this, come back to Calgary. The weather is finally nice. Today I did back, but I couldn't help sneaking in one set of chest because my gym bro was doing it, and feels good. I feel much better compared to last week. I don't think I went too hard today. Dropped off 2 packages, and today I'm mostly gonna be editing videos, I think. So yeah, see you guys.